Hello, this is Alicia again at the State College of Florida Libraries. This is part 3 of how to create outline templates for speech communication with Professor Williams. In part 2, we ended up with a template that has the structure all set up for the different levels of bullet points that your speech is going to have on each section. And I told you that you should copy and paste that under each of the main points that you want to subdivide to be able to have your complete structure set up before you type in your sentences. The only change I have in this document compared to where we left off is that I added a little bit of content to each section to show you what happens when the sentence carries over to the next line, because now we're going to be talking about the line spacing in between each section, each bullet, or inside each of them. We're going to be talking about the horizontal spacing between the lines and the indentation. One thing that I recommend is that don't do this spacing corrections until you have all of your speech typed up. So what I recommend is that you do part 2 first, or parts 1 and 2, and type in your whole speech. And once this, instead of being a template that says main point, subpoint, once this is replaced with your text, and after you know it's done, after you edit it, corrected, made any changes, once it's completely done and it's fully completed, again, then come and fix the line spacing. Because the line spacing, and especially the indentation, is gonna change if you add words or delete words. So if you modify your text, it's gonna mess it up. So again, type in your whole speech content in this outline, and then come and do this, what I'm going to show you here in part 3. Okay? Right, so let's pretend you have all your content all typed in. What we have to do is, let's talk about spacing first. Your professor requires that your speech has double space between each bullet or each section, but single space inside each bullet. So if this sentence, for example, your opening statement that will impact your audience and catch their attention, that sentence carries over to the next line. It's in 2 lines. These need to be single space. But then when you move to the next subpoint, that's going to be double. So to do that, it's a little bit tricky. We cannot use the automatic settings that we have in the menu, in the paragraph menu here, because that's not going to differentiate one from the other. So we're going to do it manually, and this is what we're going to do. Once you have everything typed in, and you're not going to change anything else, select all of your content, and then come here to the paragraph section in the toolbar, and at the bottom right corner in this section for paragraph, there's this little arrow that if you click on it, it opens up a new menu to work with the paragraph spacing, and that gives us better options to use it. So this is what we're going to do. Again, I clicked on this little arrow at the right corner, opens this menu, and what you're going to do is make sure that before and after a paragraph, there are no extra spaces. So we're going to click here in the up and down arrows so that both of these should be 0 and 0. And the line spacing, we're going to select single. When we need double, we'll make it manually. So we're going to select single spacing, 0, 0, and click OK. Now we have everything single spaced. What you're going to do now is, in the places where you need double space, which is in between each level, we're going to add the double space manually. We're going to go to the end, for example, for introduction. At the end of the line, we press enter, and that added an extra line. So now it's double. We're going to do the same here. So the end of the sentence is not here. It carries over to the next line, and this is the end of that sentence. So now here we're going to press enter. But watch what happened. When I press enter, it's thinking that I want to add another main point. And that's not what I want. I don't want another bullet. So I'm going to click here and say no bullet. See, that removed the number 2. So now I have double space, single, double. The same thing I'm going to do for subpoint A. So the whole subpoint is single space, that's good, but at the end I'm going to press enter, and it's putting a bullet, so I'm going to come up, say no bullet. There, you have a double space. You're going to do that every sentence that you have here. I didn't type in anything here, but you may have something that carries over. So at the end of the sentence, again, enter, no bullet. Enter, no bullet. Enter, no bullet. Well, here it added one more, so I'm going to make sure it's double only. Visually, you can tell when it's double or not. Here, no bullet. Enter, no bullet. Enter, no bullet, etc. So you do this for every section, which again, your sections should be all filled up. That's the spacing in between the lines. Again, single inside the bullet, double in between. Now we're going to do the last thing, which is the indentation. This is also tricky because the professor requires that your indentation in each line inside the bullets is a hanging indentation, which means the second line should be moved to the right. But if we do that automatically, it will do it for the bullets too, and we don't want that. So this is my workaround, how I recommend you to do it. And again, it's very important that your sentences are all typed up and you're not going to change them, because now we're going to look at where your second line starts. So this sentence, we want to indent it. So what we're going to do is this line carries over on the first word, that is your. So we're going to put the cursor in the beginning of the second line and follow along. This is what we're going to do. We're going to press enter to cut the line. Once you press enter, it's adding a bullet. So again, we're going to say no bullet, but now it moved it to the left. So I'm going to use tab, the tab key in your keyboard, and press it once, twice. Now it's a line, but I want it indented and hanging, so 3 times. And that puts it to the right of this. Okay, so we did 3 tabs. Let's do that again for this sentence, this subpoint. It also carries to the next line. So we're going to go to the beginning of the second line. We're going to put the cursor there. We're going to cut it with enter. And it added the bullet, so we're going to say no bullet. And then use the tab key once, twice, 3 times. So that is indented as it should be. You have to do that in every section. Sadly, that's the only way to be able to customize this way. So repeat that same process throughout your text, and then that's going to be it. That's going to be your perfectly formatted outline. And I wish you the best, and I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about any of this or about finding your references and sources for your speeches, please come and talk to one of our librarians. We'll be very happy to help you. Good luck!